Today we're going to be going over quite a few different types of things in the world of gold making. Let us begin. Okay, so basically what we're going to be actually having a look at is our lovely little mailbox for the day, and that is the 89,000 gold we have currently. Tasty. Items of note are, of course, the Weaver cloth gardening hat for 10,562 gold. Those ones are pretty nice when they actually sell. Along with that, we also have our War Scrolls of Battle Shout, once again 11,000 gold, and we've got our more War Scrolls of Fortitude and Battle Shout as well. So I think you can see where I'm making a ton of gold at the moment is with those War Scrolls. So let's pull in all of that gold for 89,000 gold for the day. Now, with that being said, while we're pulling on all of this gold, what are we actually going to be doing? Well, that is the case because the Darkmoon Fair has just come up. Now, Day of the Dead has just ended, and unfortunately I was currently working yesterday, so I wasn't able to do a video, but you could have got the Macabre Marionette, that little battle pet for a one-off quest. However, let's make up for that by going over towards our Darkmoon Fair for the week. That means we're going to need to go into everything and go over towards Darkmoon. Now, with these quest items that we're actually going for, we're going to be wanting to have a look at these lovely little fellas. We'll be wanting to buy out at least 11 of each and every single one of these, and that is mainly due in part that I need them for one for every single character. So if I just keep buying a load, we'll be fine. Now, pulling in all of these different types of ones, I like to do this every single month when it comes towards the Darkmoon Fair, and that is by getting all of those different types of quest items, which I have for each character to give in. Now, Darkmoon Fair has a load of different types of ways in order to get a load of gold. Number one is I would highly recommend, if you've got a fresh character and you've never done it before, is by doing the Silas quest. It's a one-time quest that gives you 100 different types of tickets. And for me, at this moment in time, I have 448 tickets, plus whatever I get from all of this. And with those tickets, I'm able to actually give those in and get a nice healthy amount of different types of pets or different types of old school mog, which I can sell on the auction house. Now, you do have your daily quests in order to get more of those tickets. However, if we go over towards some of these guys, you can see that you can buy different types of things from the vendors. Now, you can buy things like the Darkmoon Flower and also the Cloak of the Darkmoon Fair. Those ones tend to sell quite slow, and they don't really go for an awful lot of gold, especially when it comes towards Darkmoon Flower. At the end of the day, Darkmoon Flower, it's 0.007, so it's going to be a really slow selling mog. But if we go over towards these types of vendors right here, and we have a nice little look at these characters. These different types of replica gear I've covered in the past, and they've always been a reliable source. However, when it comes towards being a druid, I can only see the druid sets, but if I go down to all, I can then pick out all of the ones for every single different type of class, and then I can sell those on the auction house. Ideally, you would want to get one of every single item that these vendors actually provide. I primarily go for the shoulders, cloaks and helms first if I'm doing a full restock and I've completely sold out of my replica gear. This is because these ones go for a higher amount on average, and they are faster selling, so I want to see that return even faster. Now, judging by this, you will only be spending roughly between 55 to 75 different types of prize tokens in order to give them in. Now, I love this because I can do this on one time of all of my characters, get a buttload of different types of Darkmoon Fair tokens, and now with the currency for the Darkmoon Fair tickets, I can do character transfers, which means I can transfer over all of my Darkmoon Fair tickets onto Corthana, and she can just do a mass buy and then relist on the auction house. So I'll be divvying up all of these different types of items we've just purchased and then selling them on. Now, I have been a little bit lax, I'll be honest with you guys, and that would be mainly due in part that I usually will buy these about a week in advance, because that's when the prices of those ones are a little bit lower. However, I was a little bit caught up with everything else IRL, and so I've just bought them right now. That being said, you can also do different types of quests, so if you're behind on your professions, you can catch up. Number one, you've got your cooking one that will give you different types of 𝐆𝐀𝐿𝐲 cooking skill, along with, if you're doing other ones, you can do that for your fishing. Now, I like to do that, the cooking and the fishing, that's just basic on my main character. However, you do have your main character quests, which is for your Dragon Isles herbalism skill and your herbalism knowledge. You gain additional herbalism knowledge points for this quest, but with all the different types of profession quests in this one, and it's one of the most easiest ways to get some extra knowledge per every month just by doing that one-time quest that is available for everyone who has those professions. So if you're an engineer, you'll be wanting to do the engineering quest, which is running around fixing like 6 tonks, if I remember right. And these quests will give you some additional knowledge. You can put them into your crafting restructure, and then when you go to dealing with your build, you can get your build even better with all of that jazz. I like to do this and stay on top of it because I am a quality crafter. I focus mainly on my quality of items being produced, so trying to get the best eye level, the best stats, all that jazz. And I don't really focus mainly on multi-craft unless it is inscription or alchemy, and then try and boost that up from there with the current expansion. With previous expansions, I generally will go with the fastest selling multi-crafts, transmute masters and all that stuff, but this quest right here and all of the other subsidiary quests for professions are something that I would highly recommend you doing, because that will give you a little bit of an edge for people who do not want to do the Darkmoon Fair, along with all of these little quest turn-ins for your character. And then by doing that, I'm able to actually get a decent amount of different types of replica gear to shove on the auction house, and also a load of knowledge points. If we go over towards here, you can also buy the mounts. Unfortunately, I already have all these mounts, but you can also buy the battle pets, which you can then sell on the auction house. I would highly recommend, though, if you're going to buy these battle pets, double check the prices on your auction house, because they cost 20 Darkmoon prize tickets to sell on, and some of them are not cageable if you buy them. So just FYI, double check before you buy on the auction house. So it's really handy if you have a Brutus sword to double check it with all of that stuff. There's tons to do in the Darkmoon Fair, but those ones are the things that I like to focus on to make gold each and every month, as it's a complete reset on those quests. So I like to go do them on all of my characters who are able to do so, so we can get more gold in the long term and in the short term. Depends on what things you are wanting to buy. So if we run over towards here, I've literally just forgotten about this, so I will just preface this right now with the fishing. There is a nice little fishing vendor that you can also buy stuff for Darkmoon Daggermore. Darkmoon Daggermore usually fluctuates in price, and you can buy 2 recipes that you can sell on the auction house that sell pretty well. They cost 10 Darkmoon Daggermore, so 10 times 17, which is the DB min buyout, 170 gold. It sells it on for 2,499 gold, and it's at a 0.025 sell rate. That is a pretty decent way in order to increase gold overall. That being said, I've got quite a little bit to do when it comes towards giving you all these quests, doing my profession quests and doing my daily crafting, as well as all of my different types of vendor buys for everything. So what I will do for the day is I'll divvy all of these out, do all of the quests and relist my auctions, and by tomorrow morning I will be able to show you guys in my bag what I've got for the Darkmoon Fair for my little trip of the day when it comes towards the Darkmoon Fair for the month. Other than that, have an awesome one, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.